Carnage at the Carnival is a feature film for Season 1 of Final Girl where you'll be fighting against Geppetto and his 3 puppets at the Carnival of Blood. In this video, I'll go over the special rules for the Carnival of Blood and Geppetto, how Geppetto's puppet minions work, and then finally clarify some commonly misplayed rules and cards. If you want a general overview of how to play Final Girl, then check out my rules video before you watch this one. Geppetto comes with 3 puppet minions, so set aside the puppet reference card and put all the puppets in the ready area. Note that I'm using the minis for this video, which is sold separately. The regular game comes with tokens to represent the puppets. The Carnival of Blood location comes with item traps and terror traps. At the start of the game, set up the location as normal except for the item decks. Set aside the 3 item traps that look like this, shuffle the rest of the item cards, and make 3 piles of 2 cards each. Then add 1 item trap to each pile and shuffle each pile separately. Finally, add 1 more item card face up on the top and put them at the top of the board. In this way, each item pile will contain 1 item trap, but it won't be the top card. The last thing to do for setup is set aside the terror trap reference card for later. When you take a search action and pull an item trap, then you resolve it immediately before finishing the search action. For example, if you roll 2 successes on a search attempt, you'll draw 2 cards and look at them. If either of them is a trap, then resolve it immediately. Then finish your search by keeping the other card and placing it in your hand or backpack. After resolving an item trap, you remove it from the game. The Carnival of Blood also comes with terror traps, which trigger when you reveal certain terror cards. Place the token matching the icon in the upper right corner of the card in your current space and resolve the effects immediately on both you and any victims in your space. Effects are shown on the reference card here. The general rules that apply to all traps are as follows. All victims who enter a space with a trap or are currently in one when they are revealed are killed. Remember that this will increase the Bloodlust track and cause a panic roll in the panic phase. The Final Girl applies the trap effects immediately when it's revealed and again if she ever moves back into the trap space. The Acid Pitfall trap causes you to immediately lose 1 life. The rope trap causes you to discard 1 action card at random, and the spinning floor blade possibly does damage. Roll 2 dice, and on a roll of 1 to 4, you take 1 damage, and on a roll of 5 to 6, you may move 1 space. These results apply to each die, so you could possibly take 2 damage. Note that the Acid Pitfall trap is a loss of life and can't be prevented, while the spinning floor blade causes damage, so you could play guard or other items to reduce or prevent it. That's everything for the Carnival of Blood, so let's look at Geppetto the Puppet Master. His 3 puppet minions start in the ready area of the puppet reference card, and this card also shows you that each puppet has 1 health, does 1 damage, and has movement equal to Geppetto's movement. The back of Geppetto's finale cards show his default killer action, but also a default minion action shown above it with an M. During the killer phase, you'll do the minion action first, then the killer action, and finally flip a terror card. The default minion action first spawns a minion onto Geppetto's current space, so take one from the ready area and place it with Geppetto. If there's no puppets in the ready area, or they're already on the board, then just ignore it. Next, move any exhausted puppets up to the ready area. Then continue with the rest of the minion action. Each puppet targets the closest victim and moves towards them. Remember their movement is equal to Geppetto's, so it starts at 1. And also remember that the Final Girl does not count as a victim. Puppets are attached to Geppetto by strings, so they can never end a movement more than 2 spaces away from him. I'll come back to this in a minute. After you spawn a new puppet and move them all towards victims, then you do the killer action. The default killer action is for Geppetto to target the closest victim or Final Girl and attack. But he doesn't move, so this will give you some time to prepare if you stay out of his space. Remember that he will target a victim first if both a victim and the Final Girl are in his space. Finally, flip a terror card and do everything from top to bottom. If you encounter any killer actions that look like this, then each puppet will perform that action first, and then Geppetto will do the action at the end. Puppets are a special type of enemy called a minion, and there are general rules for minions in the core rulebook, so let's go over them now. First, any reference to an enemy on a terror card, item, event, or anything else refers to both minions and killers. Any references to the killer, however, do not apply to minions, and any references to minions do not apply to the killer. Victims will follow you into spaces with minions unless that space also contains the killer. Minions always come with their own reference card, which will show their attack value, movement, and health. Minions are limited by the tokens in the game, so if you are instructed to spawn a minion and there are no more tokens available, then you ignore it. Attacking minions is slightly different, and you can kill more than one with a single attack. So if you're on a space with 2 puppets and roll a successful Furious Strike doing 2 damage, you can kill both puppets since they each have 1 health. But you can't damage both minions and the killer with a single attack. So if you're attacking in a space with both puppets and Geppetto, then you need to declare your target before making the roll. If you kill a puppet, move it to the exhausted area. It's out of the game until it spawns again. Finally, victims that are in a space with a minion will panic during the panic phase when a victim has died that turn, just like they do with the killer. Just to reiterate, during the killer phase, all minions perform the minion action one at a time, then the killer performs the killer action, and finally they both perform any killer actions on the tarot card. This is to make them compatible with all the location tarot cards throughout all the feature films. Geppetto's puppets have an extra rule that they are attached to Geppetto by strings and can never end their movement more than 2 spaces away from him. They can be 3 or more spaces away while moving to their target, but they must always end their movement within the 2 spaces. If they cannot reach their target, then they will move as far as they can and then stop. If for any reason they end up farther than 2 spaces away from him, then during their minion action they will change their target to Geppetto and move towards him instead. This can happen due to the effects of some tarot cards. Once they are back within range, they will target the closest victim as normal during the next killer phase. Well, that's all the special rules for Geppetto and the Carnival of Blood, so now I'm going to go over a few rules that seem to trip people up when they play. First is the event card that's revealed at the top of Geppetto's Bloodlust track. You only do this action the first time you reach the top of the track. If Bloodlust ever increases again, you will do this action here, which says to discard a tarot card, but since you're not actually moving the Bloodlust marker, you don't reveal another event. Next is the tarot card Master Showman, which instructs you to place puppets. Placing puppets means only move puppets that are already on the board, not the puppets that are ready or exhausted on the reference card. It's also worth noting that when Geppetto's finale is revealed that the new minion actions don't spawn new puppets, so once you kill them after the finale, they won't be coming back. Alright, and that's how you play Carnage at the Carnival. Let me know in the comments what you think of this feature film and how you'd rate it compared to the others in Season 1. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to me on YouTube. If you want to check out more of my videos, then click the links on the screen and maybe you'll find a new game to play. And with that, Michael Skeleton is out.